Hey everybody, Amascut here with Crondis
Hello.
and Avernic,
Howdy.
and we are talking about Evil Dave's relatively
Big day out.
reasonable day out, I guess. Yeah, the new quest, Evil Dave's Big Day Out. It's a new sixth age quest in which Evil Dave goes out. It started as a Timbo Tap project, was finished development by Timbo and Ramen, and it's mostly a comedy quest. And
Should we just
yeah,
go ahead and insert now that it's probably not canon?
it's got a lot of lore fails that make it very questionably canon.
Yeah.
Plus some
Osborne
just
said on Twitter that it was intentionally a farce quest, so
yeah.
I think it's gonna fall into the same realm as like Gower Quest, to where just
Which
don't
is
take it as
worrying,
canon.
but that would make
Basically, it's not a quest that in the future, if we're discussing lore about some of these characters, it's not a quest that I would really like look into for story.
it's
Especially the gods.
it's worrying that post Gower Quest now it seems to be acceptable to throw a bunch of puns and random shit together and call it a quest, and that counts.
And like, let's be real, I love me some puns. But we've had
But
Back to the Freezer already, and now we have Evil Dave's Big Day out, both of which seem to rely more on their pun craftsmanship than their quest craftsmanship.
comedy quests don't have to be world breaking to be funny.
This is true.
And comedy quests also need to be funny to be funny.
They need to be funny, and they have to fit within what's real.
It's funnier when a quest manages to be hilarious while fitting within the game's story and world than it is when they go like off the rails. And I do think Gower Quest was freaking hilarious.
Right. I mean, I've never been against quests that are like
Yeah,
fully
That
comedy,
that took
but
huge advantage of the meta though.
right,
exactly. And
exactly.
Dimension of Disaster was hilarious because it managed to play with canon
Yeah, I
while
mean,
respecting its source material.
I will always prefer quests that are quests first and are at the same time funny.
Absolutely.
Dimension of Disaster, Pirate series, quests like that.
Yep. So, for those of you who already can't tell, most of us weren't a huge fan of this quest.
Do you want to just
Right.
give our general opinions on it before we dig deep in it?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
My opinion on this is split into two bits. If we are going to take this as a canon quest, it sucks. But if we are going to take it as a non-canon quest, it is middling. Some of the jokes landed, some didn't. And that's really it. There was some humor that I didn't quite find funny, but I can't say I didn't ever laugh. I did enjoy some of the things, especially my pocket sand.
Vernon?
Um, I'd say that I'm not going to take it as a non-canon thing because I can't start accepting things as these count and these don't on a willy-nilly basis. But besides that, I felt that it was very much um, instance hopping between various locations to do a bunch of use this on that puzzles in order to make puns, and that was the quest in a nutshell. And I don't think that's up to its potential.
And I'm a little lighter on this quest. I have some major problems with it, especially when it comes to its lore. And I agree, the instance hopping was a major problem for me. I found that because it felt more like I was being dragged around the world to witness puns rather than progressing through a quest and naturally encountering puns. However, I think the general overarching story was relatively entertaining, and I'm happy with the resolution of it. And that's about what I got.
Yep. I think we have the basic same opinion though, is some were funny, some weren't. There
Yeah.
were some
It's
issues, and that's
it's the
about it.
best it's the best permanent non-reworked quest to come out this year, arguably.
Uh,
I'd say Crocodile Tears.
Crocodile Tears, I'd say,
Wait,
beats it
Okay,
out.
Crocodile Tears is even funnier.
okay, I'll give you that. Okay, one of the best.
Yeah, but
It'll be in my top 3.
that's when we're not counting Ghost Stories or Imp Catcher, so
Yeah. And if we're counting Imp Catcher,
probably
yeah,
yes.
it's now still in my top 3.
I
But if we
would
count Ghost
say
Stories, yeah.
I would say I am slightly disappointed with this quest. Maybe a bit more than slightly. Just
Slightly,
because
yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be a straight non-canon comedy quest. I knew there was going to be humor elements in it, but I wasn't expecting it to be to this degree.
Interestingly, I'm almost on the opposite end of the spectrum there. I'm disappointed in this quest because I expected it to do more.
I think I'm more on that end too. I expected more to.
Oh, well, I mean, I definitely expected more to happen.
Because when they talked about this quest, they mentioned a body swapping Zamorak and Dave.
That probably changed. That,
And
that I was
I
okay
didn't
with.
like that idea per se, but I was curious to see if they could make it work. Because the absurdity of having Zamorak running around in a mortal's body while trying to stop an incompetent evil guy running around with the power of a god could have been relatively entertaining.
I think I might have actually liked that better, even
That
if
would
it
have
was
been
still
more
non-canon.
farcical, but I think that would have crossed the line to so ridiculous that
I mean,
it
at
can't not be
least then
funny.
we probably could have discerned immediately that it was non-canon.
True. There were a lot of moments
Yeah.
in this quest that confused me, just why they were happening.
Yeah, I do agree with you there.
I think that plays into the wait, this was non-canon thing. Is also confusing. It's like, was I supposed to take this seriously or not? Sort of seriously,
Yeah.
maybe seriously.
Yeah, I
So-
think going forward in the future, if they're gonna have these comedy quests that they are intentionally making as forest quests, they need to label just that it's not
If they're
canon.
using breaking the world as humor,
Exactly.
yeah.
End the quest with like our character sitting in the audience as somebody puts on a play.
Or that. I mean, but you know, it's
True,
not
I guess.
Or our
unprecedented.
character
You know, we
waking up in the behind the scenes bar. Come on,
Yeah.
something.
I mean, it's not unprecedented though. We have Gower quest that straight in the description says this quest is not canon.
This quest is canon except when it's not.
Yeah.
And that being said, they should be marked, but I really don't want to see any of these for a long while. At least
Like we've said, we are generally big fans of humor quests. Dimension of Disaster is one of my all-time favorites. Gower Quest was lovely. But the problem arises when the lines get kind of blurred. The quest itself doesn't have a lot of content, not a lot of stuff going on. And the humor was hit or miss.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the best humor comes from being funny, not making references to other things that are funny.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I mean, and don't take this as me completely shitting on the writing in this quest. There were moments in this quest that were really funny. I think the culmination of all the you're grounded, you're double grounded, you're triple grounded, you're quadruple grounded, don't make me get you quintuple grounded, definitely had me chuckling. Because it was stuff that was funny, and like, your character and Dave are treating it like a huge deal, but like we have no details about what quintuple grounding involves, rather.
You're getting drowned. That's a different story.
Yeah, that's a little more serious, and Crondis and I are going to have to jump into action, but like...
Would you like to know Walter's best description of this quest, which I just find absolutely hilarious?
Yeah.
Evil Dave did what Slisuke spent 2 quests trying to set up by accident, therefore he is a more successful villain than Slisuke.
Doom, 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 da-da, doom, doomy, doom. See, Slisky, it would have been that easy. I don't even know if I got that incantation right, but apparently it doesn't matter.
No, it does not. The intent that counts.
But, like, why don't we talk about the things we liked and we didn't like, just kind of progressing.
Should we go through it linearly and just...
Yeah, I think that'd be better.
Because, like I said, there were moments that I really genuinely enjoyed, and there were moments where I sat there going, huh? Oh, side note, I did sit down and record my playthrough of this quest for the channel, so that'll come up eventually. The background of this video is going to just be silent audio of me playing through this quest, probably. It's not really the most exciting quest to have on in the background of a video, so maybe we won't, but we're recording now. We're not editing now, so don't worry about it. But at some point on the channel, there'll be the full playthrough with my commentary as well. Anyway, yeah, let's go through the quest now.
Okay. So
quest
we begin
start.
in the basement.
Like all good quests.
And after having helped out with finding some spicy stew and having a couple of skills in the level 30s, we are asked by Dave to what I still don't know was intentional or unintentional body swapping. Did he
I'm
trick us?
gonna assume it was intentional because us doing it right still did the body swap.
I think him.
Now, see, I don't think Dave knew what it did.
I don't
He
think he
immediately
could come up with the plan to meet Zamorak as fast as he figured out, oh wait, I'm in his body now.
Well,
I think he had to have planned that.
Yeah, I mean, he instantly left the moment that it happened. So it seems like he knew that was going to be the outcome.
I will also remind you, though, that he wants to conduct the ritual to get Zammy's attention.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what happened, he was going to go like, hey, Zamorak, look at the shit I did.
But he didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And also, let's keep in mind this is an ancient magic spell because it's obviously a Zerosian book.
Yeah, it is a purple book.
Yeah, he has a purple. It's the illuminated.
I don't know why the illuminated
Zerosian
book of Chaos
book.
wasn't used.
It's funny too because two of my least two quests that I don't find very funny both happen to fuck up which book they're using.
What's the other book?
Beneath Cursed Tides.
What book did it give you?
It gives you, like, I think when you were looking for a Saradominist book, it gives you a Gothics book or something like that. When you're trying to find that book towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is a very minor complaint, but it's just
Maybe
like,
that was
why?
like a joke too.
He could have at least just like
because it's kind of funny.
he could have just like drawn or like colored the book red over the purple.
Like these minor things, like they're minor, but they're so simple to not do it the other way that would make sense.
Yeah, like that's why we bring this stuff up where it's like, look, this thing is tiny. You could have fixed this so easily.
I mean, unless the joke is just that Dave is so incompetent that he doesn't know what purple means. But I don't think that's the joke.
Yeah, I mean, he wears black. He knows what his colors are.
Yeah. But
also,
anyway,
I'm really mad that he has a Siren God book, and we don't.
I know, right?
So the body swap happens, and your first thought is to check out a mirror because, of course, and you admire your beard because, apparently.
Yeah, I always have a great beard on Amascut.
So I'm not exactly sure. I mean, that made no sense, but I guess that can be put up to it was supposed to be humorous.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was this was like the big this is the Freaky Friday reference that we're gonna inevitably have. It didn't make sense logically of I'm just gonna get up and suddenly have the desire to look and flex in a mirror, but
haven't done that since the Halloween event, but so that happens, and then there's Doris upstairs making us do chores, which was I liked it the first time. I didn't like the repetition. I liked having to do the mundane thing. I think that was funnier than having to do it multiple times.
Yeah, I was definitely fine with it the first time, especially the little things that were like in there that you couldn't do, like fly away on your broom and play in the bubbles. Like I thought that was funny, even though
those were hilarious.
I did search around. I did search around for a while for an item called Childhood Innocence, and I was like, "What is this supposed to be?" I didn't check what the
names were to start with, so I didn't realize it was a joke. I thought, "Oh, I need more items before I try this."
You guys are failures.
I was like, "Surely this isn't here," and they didn't have something I could do. What is Childhood Innocence?
Okay. Because you never had any to begin with.
But I mean, the sink was the sink was the first thing that I had clicked on, so I didn't realize like the rug had something that was very obviously unupdatable.
Right away on a broomstick.
Yeah.
And this is where Crondis actually brought up earlier that apparently cleaning dishes provides herblore experience, so the requirements were to do the chores.
Yes, it was.
I can understand the cooking one, but I don't really understand.
The best part is that cleaning the dishes awards 0.0 herbal.
Yeah,
XP.
it's not that it awards XP; it's that it
It's an herblore
It
action.
shows
Like,
herblore, and that
if anything, it's crafting. You're using a cleaning rag.
You could have put like washing dishes and then put like a water symbol like is on there for filling
and
objects with
also
water.
sweeping the rug was agility.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So-
don't know. We broke it later, so clearly we weren't agile enough.
And okay, I guess it's fine, but there were other skills we actually used that didn't have requirements, like going into a resource dungeon.
I'm just
Very
more
true.
curious
Rats.
why they even took the effort to put that there. Like, that's such a minor detail that no one's gonna even care about.
Like, dungeoneering and summoning worked better.
For sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. There were some really weird moments like that where it's like we put a requirement on this minor thing, but then didn't put a requirement on this thing that actually needs a requirement.
And this is what like the book is that little thing where you just change what it is and it makes more sense. It's not like you had to do extra work; it was just change a variable name or something.
We were also discussing earlier, like beyond just like the little things and the requirements. It's super odd that like what was it? Beyond the dungeoneering, like the XP rewards at the end are
Oh, we'll
huge
get to that.
for the
Yeah,
amount of
rewards
effort.
is definitely going to be a thing.
Yeah.
I also find it funny that our character
That's also
actually even cares about Doris yelling at us.
Oh yeah.
You'd
Well,
think-
they imply that there's like still some reservoir of Dave
We
inside
have
of
some
us and
fierce
vice versa.
phobias, so I can take that.
Yeah,
That-
we are
that
for
just
some
bothered
reason
me.
inexplicably afraid of spiders. So,
I mean, I'm
I can get what that was
inexplicably
trying to
afraid
come
of spiders,
across.
so like.
I think the concept could have been utilized in a way that better demonstrated it.
I can agree with that.
Because some of them you're like, oh yeah, we were afraid of spiders. I guess that connects, but I feel like it could have been emphasized more as a point, which would have been interesting side effect of this. So after we do the chores, what do? We have to search the base. Oh,
we go downstairs and clean the bed.
We fumigate ourselves and
Take a nap.
Funnily enough, cleaning the bed requires level 30 magic.
you can't take a nap because taking a nap
Wait,
doesn't
what?
do the cutscene.
Yep.
You have to poison
So,
yourself.
you know,
That's what the magic rig is
that's
for?
what the magic rig was for, was cleaning the bed.
Not for the ritual?
It
Nope.
should have been for the ritual.
Not for the teleports?
Nope, that's the magic activity.
Oh,
Is
all for
cleaning the bed.
We had requirements for the chores, but not the other things.
okay then.
So then this cutscene happens with Moya and Dave.
Yes. So apparently, I didn't.
Because apparently,
I get why they did this, but I mean, as a player sense, but apparently, us sleeping gives us visions in third person of our body. Like,
Good point.
I get it.
I can see the side effect too.
I
guess,
get
but
it. Okay, I
should-
get it. I get the gameplay perspective, but we've had first person perspective before in the game. If you
Yeah,
look
and
at,
it's awful, and we should never do it again.
I mean, I didn't think it was pulled off horribly in Kindred Spirits. We kind of, I mean, we didn't know who it was, and I kind of don't want to know now. Wish
But
we
I mean,
didn't
I
find
hate
out.
everything about that quest, so
Yeah, I know, but you know, it's not unprecedented. Is basically what I'm saying.
it's not. No, you're right. You're right.
But yeah, that's just a stupid nitpick that I don't really care that much about. I just find it funny.
If we really want to talk about stupid nitpicks, can we talk about how absurd it is that our character just strolls up to Damonheim and Moya's like, "What's up?"
She's
And then you
hanging
talk
out
to
there.
her, and she's like, "Oh, you're acting weird. No big deal. Come meet Zamorak."
What's funnier
yeah.
about the Demonheim scene is that Moya says that he set off every trap. There are
There's no
literally
traps
people
up there.
standing there all the time on the top floor. What traps is he setting off? Or are there
Apparently-
traps constantly just going off?
Yeah, like all those ghostly spirits walking around. Those are the spirits of the adventurers who not set off the traps.
This one I'm gonna say is less minor, but they could have and probably should have.
Oh, she says
Dishonorable
alarm,
thieves.
not trap. Okay, I can give her that then.
It should have been Dishonor Among Thieves requirement. Have him show up at the bottom floor because now we have the item to get there, and then he could have set off alarms and shit. I guess. For
Can we
ending.
talk about how funny it is too? Because they're putting out those two creatures that are going to be accessible in that
We'll also
room.
get- that's a reward thing, definitely. That
But,
should have been from this quest.
I mean, yeah, sure.
That
Fuck
should
it,
have
why
been
not?
the request would have an interesting reward beyond too much experience.
I was just gonna say it's gonna be funny if they're like not in a separate room, because like then you'll just see them floating by.
Oh no, they're in a separate room. They showed
Ah,
off in stream
darn.
last week.
Well, there goes that
They,
then.
they have a cool looking room, but they could
Okay,
have.
cool.
It should have been. We found a new resource dungeon, put them in there as a reward. Even as a
Shit, I'd
few,
have been down for that.
just say in a month they're going to be there instead.
Even Salt in the Wound with its tenuous dungeoneering bullshit gave us like a reward.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. I don't think Desire Among Thieves needs something because they have Jared's Cave right now, which is interesting for low levels. So this would be an interesting reward from this quest.
Yeah.
Because experience isn't really a reward.
though back to the traps thing. She does say alarms, so I'll give her that.
Okay.
That's fine. That's cool.
That
I
still gives the impression of, are there alarms always going off though? Because he was
Probably.
literally standing on the ground.
Like, no wonder
visual
Zamorak's
alarms.
so grumpy. He's standing out down there, and all he hears is constantly. It never stops. But I do really like the half Majorat, half human joke. Expected the top half to be Majorat and the bottom half human, kind of like a bony mermaid. That was hilarious. I loved everything about that. I also really appreciated Moya calling him out for shouting evil every time he says evil.
Wait, was Bill Rock down there? I don't remember.
No, I
No,
didn't
he
see it.
wasn't.
Okay,
But
okay.
it was hilarious that Moya was like, "We've met before. Why
Yeah.
are you acting like an idiot?"
You bet your bony top half I have. That was great. And then, of course, him trying to imitate us, forsooth,
Yeah.
and lead the way, Mary
Oh,
Majorat. Adventure awaits.
that I actually like. I
That
was
fucking
laughing.
great. That was great.
There was humor.
Like, that's exactly what I would expect Dave to do while trying to be us.
That said, it did give me horrid flashbacks of Kindred Spirits when Meg did the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
But see, I liked that too, because I like Meg.
Shut up.
Oh, that was good. But then we go down to the Zamorak part, and it's just kind of like
That's okay.
awkward.
Yeah.
Like seeing Zamorak say
Yeah, I don't think Samrak or Ceridon were very.
Yeah,
even
Zamorak and
Ceridon.
Ceridon were very out of character in this quest.
I
Like-
also really dislike the whole Ceridoman and Zamorak plan, where it's like, oh well, you know, Ceridoman's planning to kill me by working with his elite white knights.
Like,
That is magical Icene.
I'll get into how horrible I think Ceridoman was acting later on when we get there, but this
No,
this-
we are
this
here because
quest-
Zamorak explains the plan here.
like, okay, well then I'll just get into it now. What the fuck was Ceridoman thinking?
I have no idea.
In what world would he have thought this was a good idea? That was what really took me out of this quest when that first happened.
Like Zamorak's like, you'll undertake a test. I have a mole in the White Knight's castle. Ceridoman's making a move. He believes that I am for the taking. What would imply that Zamorak is for the... What? What has changed with Zamorak that Ceridoman's like, I can kill this bitch now? Nothing! Nothing has changed!
and later on when we actually get Ceridoman's plans, like, the plan is horrible!
It's hideous. I'm gonna cut his head off. That's really it. I just want to cut his head off.
You generic white knights are gonna steal his artifacts, and I come in for the kill.
Two of them had names. The rest of them were generic.
One of the names was really bad.
It was great. We'll talk about it later.
But it's fine for
it's
this quest.
really-
It was a good joke.
Yeah.
But it's a bad name.
It's very strange to me that the whole quest is contingent on Ceridoman making a move on Zamorak, and then the World Guardian coming to Zamorak going, yeah, I'm here to pledge fealty, bruh. Or, I'm so evil! And Zamorak going, yeah, this is fine. I mean, sure,
Well,
use
no, that's not even what happens, because in this cutscene, Zamorak does say he's acting weird. Moya follow him, but then later on that's completely thrown out the window.
Moya doesn't follow us.
Moya doesn't follow us, and Zamorak's
Yeah,
just
I
like,
think
oh,
it's-
well, he's following me now. I guess that's a good thing.
Oh, my favorite part is when Dave is down in like the room where the two of them kind of awkwardly clash, and everybody acts surprised that he's there.
Hmm.
Ugh. Anyway,
Anyway, so that cutscene ends.
as
And
much as chaos pleases me, the player is behaving erratically.
uh, then we have to teleport to the makeover mage because we have to look like a woman.
By the way, can I say some of the spells that are in his spellbook are
Oh, yeah.
hilarious?
Those were
These were
hilarious.
I
fantastic.
lost my shit at very low alchemy.
Very low alchemy had me rolling. That was one of my favorites.
And
What was the full list of spells? Does anybody have that written down?
at some point it cuts you off saying you should stop looking, it's for your own good.
Yeah.
That's true. No, that was with the bookcase.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
The bookcase was even funnier. Because you start reading it, and there's
There's the Siren God book. There's
the Siren God book had me laughing. How to Make Friends and Influence Zamorak. The Lodestone Less
Kenneth
Traveled.
and the Menace of the Slugs.
Yeah. The Dragon Kite Runner. The Lovely Dragon Bones. They were so good. I loved every single one of them, and then I loved the joke about like you wanting to keep reading, and it's like, look, no, you gotta stop. you need to take it easy. There was some really funny stuff there.
Mm.
See, that's where you put humor in a quest. Is like
Exactly.
stupid shit like that.
Well, bookshelves have always been a source of humor in this
Exactly,
game, so
like,
it was great seeing some really quality ones.
Those are the jokes that hit.
Mm-hmm. I also liked how his command phrase was literally just "evil is best." Like,
So is this when? Okay, yes, this is when Gertrude decides she's gonna go grocery shopping. I
Yeah,
like
Doris.
this.
Doris decides.
Oh, Gertrude. That's later.
Gertrude doesn't come up until later.
Yeah, no, Doris decides she's gonna go grocery shopping, and I actually appreciated this because this was good world building. I have always
agree.
wondered if characters used the Grand Exchange.
Yep.
So yeah, that was nice. That was the one bit of like world building in this quest that I actually appreciated.
Well, does the Grand Exchange have everything though? Like, wasn't she ordering food?
I think she was ordering ingredients, right? Because she was like,
where do they refrigerate these things?
Magic.
Ice
The answer
magic.
is magic.
And then for some reason our teleport fails and we end up exactly there.
It's apparently because the spells got swapped.
What were the runes that were used? It was air, law, and
Air Law
and Earth, which would have generally been a teleport to your house spell.
Right. It could have been the Vera teleport spell and make a joke about he finished the medium task.
Oh, yeah, that would have been funny. I was a little more. Now, see, they also do mention and explain the Dave's ability to teleport weird places at some point. Because they say something like, "Oh, he just like overshoots."
But it makes even less sense because that's not how teleporting works.
Oh no, I agree. It makes absolutely no sense. But like, at least they brought it up.
I mean, they brought it up, but it was worse because what was it, the Goblin Village? We were like, how does he do that? And he's like, oh, well, I just teleport to Falador and miss. What?
Is that like the secret to flying? Just jump off a ledge and miss the ground or something?
That's the secret to revolving around the Earth.
But yeah,
that actually is a reference. Now that you mention that.
Something. I forget what it is. I think that's Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, it's I think it's Hitchhiker's Guide.
I think it's 4. It says there or something.
Yeah. God, I can't quite remember what it is now.
I read all those too long ago.
Yeah, same. I have like a leather-bound copy of them too, and everything.
Take note. That's a great place to find jokes.
I'll scream it out if I remember what it is later.
Okay.
Also, number 19 on Walter's list, I just find hilarious for no random reason. The World Guardian is worried about being double grounded.
There it is. There's an art to flying, or rather a knack. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss.
There we go.
That's
Maybe it
what
was
it is.
that. I'm kind of doubting because I think it was far enough away that it wasn't.
Yeah, but it reminded me of that.
Same. So then we get to his bank, which has some good things in it.
Yeah, it did.
Few pocket sand.
Pocket sand was probably the
Yeah.
best thing in there. The Ceradomin duvet, I do not get.
I'm not understanding that one.
Why
I
was that there?
I continue to adamantly insist that it's just pajama armor.
What's
No, that's
even
something else.
no.
It's a different one.
That was missing. It was a Ceradomin duvet set, and it was missing the page armor.
You sure?
Yeah, that's what the examine says. Speaking of the page armor, Walter hated this because he spent the better part of like 10 minutes Googling this word. And nothing was coming up, and we couldn't figure out what this was a joke on.
I think I got it right away. But I'm like, it's gotta be something else.
I just expected it to be a reference to something because everything else was a reference to
I
something.
saw it, and I was like, page armor? Pajamore? I went through three different ways of like speaking this out, and I could not figure out what it was.
Because like Jagex in the past has done this kind of like, hey, here's a joke that only makes sense if you say it out loud in a British accent. But like, just wasn't funny, I guess. That was really my.
Oh
that
yeah,
was my
here,
biggest
here
problem
was
there.
here was Walter's note on it. Why does he have a Ceradomin duvet? Also, what is a page armor, and why does nothing I own nor Google recognize it as a word?
Okay, yeah, that's fantastic.
What else in the bank? There was the love letter and job application, which I wasn't too impressed by. They were okay.
Okay, I have a major complaint about the love letter.
Okay.
You can't give it to the general store girl later.
Isn't it for Zamorak?
Yes, but I really wanted to try and give it to the general store girl later. Because, like, your character has it after the quest, and you know that the general store girl is in love with Dave, and
Have it
post
during the
quest she
quest.
has dialogue. And post quest she has dialogue that says things are kind of going well between them.
Yeah, because
So I really wanted to give that love letter to her.
Do we
And it wouldn't
also
let me.
assume that this job application was to be sent to Zamorak?
It said to Mr. Mrs. or Zamorak, something like
Yep.
that.
Which is
So
pretty great.
Also, the crystal acorn. I don't get that one. Why is that in there?
So if you use it on a crystal, the crystal tree patch after the quest, it just says "nice try."
Yeah,
it's fucking with you.
I do know that. I just
It's an elaborate troll.
I mean, that would be the only reason I could see for it. Is that it's just a
Because
straight troll.
Otherwise, I just don't know.
Also, the infinitely regenerating quote-unquote last cup of stew.
which for some reason they put in 2 different vials between Phil and
Yeah, you drink it and the vial changes shape.
could have used like the goblin potion or
But
something.
why call it the last one? If it's just gonna keep bringing itself
I
back
think
to
that's
your
a joke.
bank, why
That
not
was
just
supposed
have
to be
it as a vial of stew?
That's a
Why
good
is it in a
point.
bowl?
Or the bowl of stew that we already have.
That's
They
true.
just in a bowl and you fill the bowl with water instead.
Also, was there a point of people constantly talking about it being orange? Was that a joke?
Orange
You didn't clean it
flavor.
out well.
Just like there was this hint of orange flavor on it. I
Because
thought that was kind of funny, to be honest.
Their spice names are colors.
Yeah. See, like I didn't really like laugh at it the first time, but then when it kept coming up, it actually got.
Well, it kept
funny.
happening.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a reference to something that I'm missing?
It's a reference to orange spice.
Although, yeah, if it's the fact that they call their spices colors, that makes much more sense.
Yeah, but a hint of orange. Like I didn't hate on that. I thought it was kind of funny.
No, I was okay with it.
I was just like, surely it doesn't mean like orange the fruit, because stews are generally not fruity.
Oh, that's
Backtracking real quick, I just remembered one of the other book names, the Poetic Fremnik, really made me laugh. That was like both a great reference to the Poetic Edda and also just funny. Anyway, sorry. Back to
Nice.
yeah.
Did anything else happen here that was funny?
We are
every
for some
single
reason
the names of the 4 people at the GE
all
references to Superman. Clark, there's Kent, there's Kara, and there's Chris.
Yeah.
So we've got Clark Kent, we've got Kara, and then Chris is Christopher Reeves, the actor that played Superman. So I thought that was cute.
We also
It's cute. I don't think
We also either dump out or drink our stew and then fill it up in a vial that's still dirty, just for the sake of laziness.
I'm surprised we were allowed.
The
to put that
NPC
out.
comments on that though.
Yeah, I know. That was the only reason I was actually
This
fine
is
with
something
that.
that surprised me was the instance sizes. Like I could not. I don't think I ever saw the edge of the instant.
Oh yeah, the fact they made these instances huge.
I should have explored more because I was surprised I could go to the fountain. I don't know how far you could have gone, but
That was about as far as you could go.
oh, you
Wouldn't let me walk out the entrance of the GE.
I think you said the one in Edgeville was what, a full load square?
At least, I mean, I could not see the edge from at Dave's house.
Yeah, I could never see the edge of them. Like I could see on.
Yeah. So
But
it was,
they cut you off. They just wouldn't let you walk past a certain point.
Oh,
which
is
gonna
that what it
bring me to
was?
something else later about.
Because I tried to walk out the entrance of the GE and it just wouldn't let you do it.
Oh, okay. They blocked it off. That's gonna
Yep.
bring me something else later that could work with storyboarding some things to make them all happen in Varrock, but I can get to that later. Because then the instance size would have been used as just use the whole city.
Yep.
And then you don't have to worry about instance jumping.
But like, you know, they've used the whole city before, so it's kind of why I was like, we could have localized the quest to Varrock and Edgeville, and it would have been easier instead of just porting us around. Which is something we'll talk about in a few once we get to
I'll
the.
talk about some of it now. So
Yeah, sure.
you have the two sections after this are Falador Castle and Shanty Pass, basically. So you could have put it all in Varrock, progressing from Edgeville to the Rat Pits, making the Falador Castle section in Varrock Palace have the White Knights stationed at the top because they're doing the mission in town to find this resource dungeon. And it's a Serra Dominus city, so it makes sense. And have the stealth stuff up there, because we don't use that area, so it's usable.
Yeah.
And then you could have done the Shanty Pass stuff at the Plague
The plague area.
in the southeast of the city, because rats carry plague, so they're not allowed through. And you could have done the whole Shanty Pass stuff there, and then made these huge rat pit jokes as you put the resource dungeon in the rat pits.
The moment Avernic said this to us earlier, I literally went, "Oh my god, why did they not do that?"
Yeah,
I can't believe rat pits weren't used.
Like Jagex has never held back on referencing removed quests before.
And then
like Dimension of Disaster references Romeo and Juliet and references the old Demon Slayer. You know, there's references to Romeo and Juliet all over the board. Why stop now?
I don't know why the desert
this would have
was
been a great chance for rat pits.
I think the desert was used because they decided early on we're using the Shanty Pass as this area. But I feel like this going with the resource dungeon location first would have informed.
I feel like Shanty Pass was used for the sole purpose of having the rat snaking out place.
Yeah,
that was the only place they could figure out that.
I think there were two jokes that they explicitly wanted to use. The thing about barrels, because that was topical and funny.
That was okay, yeah. That was good.
And I think they really wanted to make the Shantae Sachet joke.
Okay. That one sounds fun.
But like,
I feel like it could have been like biohazard joke with the plague stuff.
They could have made fun of that, and they still have those three characters sitting there, the like Da Vinci and all that.
Or you could have used those to sneak the rats in and stuff.
Yeah. It would have been a cool reference to Biohazard as well.
So that's something that I would have done to reformat it so that because an issue I took was that it felt like you were jumping from place to place and being dragged along to do these contained similar activities. And if you tie them all together and make it so it flows better to get from one to the other, it would have felt better and more cohesive.
I absolutely agree. Because that really was a big problem with the quest for me, was it didn't feel like I was doing a quest, it felt like I was witnessing one.
Yes. From stage piece to stage piece. Or
exactly.
Set piece.
Yeah, I would have been much more, open to this quest if it wasn't. We leave the house and suddenly we're halfway across the world.
Surprise.
Which I get you don't want to make them walk there, but then why is it halfway
No,
across the
let us
world?
walk. Please, for the
Oh,
love
you
of
wanted to
God, let
walk
us walk.
to the XL Calphite layer?
Yes. We didn't even go to the exiled Calphite lair.
Just have hundreds of Daves walking across the world.
I would have been fine with that.
Put them all in the same instance of Varrock
Like,
while you're at it.
remember all the times in the past when they put out quests that had followers and you had like 90 players with followers behind them?
We had like Xanax everywhere. Yeah, it was
Every
great.
single Xanac, every single Rorken, like what would have been so different?
Yeah,
It happens sometimes.
it does. And when it's all on the release day and it's in a joke quest about body swapping, I think it'd be hilarious.
So we kind of got a little out of order
Oh,
here.
yeah. Super sidetracked. Let's go to the makeover mage now.
Yeah.
No, we go back to Doris first.
Yeah.
I thought you teleport from the G straight to the makeover mage.
Oh,
do.
no, you do. Yeah, you're right.
We go there, we talk to the makeover mage, they make some more jokes, they make a reference to a quest that isn't a requirement on this, but it is a 5th age quest, and this is a 6th age quest, so we cool.
We'll let it fly.
Do we remember why we're turning into a woman again?
Because
No.
we're not allowed in Falador, but even after we turn into a woman, we still look like Dave and everyone recognizes us as Dave.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
think it's a
there's that
joke.
thing. Like, I don't understand what the purpose of this gender swap thing was, if only for the horrific
The joke
shanty
that you look
pass
the same.
joke that's gonna come later.
Oh.
But it did nothing. Like,
It
we
fell
didn't
flat to
even
me.
get the sequence of us trying to go into Falador. We just ended up in the castle.
Plus, Vars recognizes us like freaking immediately.
And he's drunk off his shit.
And then reveals to us that the ban was just political, and, you know, he kind of likes
But-
you.
The reason that I think that it was the joke was that you look the same was because everyone just says, "Oh, you're Dave. Hi, Dave. I know
Yeah.
you, Dave."
It didn't
I
help
think
that
it
we
was
were
supposed to be a
very
joke.
demanding about keeping the beard, and all that it did was give us boobs.
Yeah. I
So-
could barely. I had to check that to make sure that did something
I-
change.
I almost feel like the whole reason they did it was so that they could make the recruitment drive woman joke.
No, that was our player character. That wasn't us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That wasn't a
And he
joke.
didn't even get it.
Yeah, true. That's right. Wow. Yep.
Yeah. So that brings us to back to the
Back to
chores
Doris.
with the broken shit.
Where the bitch makes us redo the already done chores.
And everything breaks. So we have to go to the general store, which I'm not exactly sure what the funny part here is besides everything breaking, because the general store wasn't funny.
No.
I liked the general store because of the owner
Shop assistant
clearly
was
hitting on
optional.
Dave's mom.
Oh, okay.
There was that, but it was like just straight making excuses for Dave. Like, oh, I bet you did such a good job trying. Like, that's just, I don't know, that wasn't very funny.
I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either, but it's like
It just kind of felt like a filler section for the sake
Yeah.
of getting us through this next part.
Fair enough.
And you fix the things that were broken, and do the chores again, which
I did enjoy how they kept making jokes about how every time we do the chores, it's like completely pointless, and we're kind of making it worse now.
That was the third time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't.
See,
a fan
well,
of
I
the
couldn't
repeating
keep
chores
track.
thing. I didn't think it was that.
Yeah, so then we get the
Well, it's like it
next-
wasn't fun gameplay, but I mean,
No, it
it is
was not.
chores.
Yeah.
True.
So then we get to the second self-vision thing.
We get the cutscene. Emphasis on.
This is where I think a lot of issues came in.
This is where I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on? I'm not gonna make excuses anymore.
Okay, so to start off with, Dave goes to Sir Tiffy, a temple knight, to become a white knight, an elite white knight.
Yeah.
Why? How? Where? What? Why? Twice.
Yeah.
I get they were trying to make a joke with Tiffy and recruitment drive and stuff. That
And one
just
more time.
seems like a massive oversight.
Not to mention the redo and recruitment drive doesn't. Why would he test you by making you redo puzzles you already know?
Yeah, he thinks that you're you.
You should be given different tasks that are new and harder, not send you off to Witch Haven. I don't know what to
And like,
because that problem's already solved.
why would they send us there?
I don't know. We
Yeah,
solved that.
so we
That's a
get the
different
recruitment drive scene where we get the no man can beat him. And, that spiraled into Dave being an idiot and thinking that cats were the answer, because reasons. Then we get the sea slug section, which, admittedly, this section's getting a new dialogue. They're changing everything. But the dialogue that's
But
here
the fact that
is
it
really
made it
bad.
through?
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Like, I get they were making the joke of, oh, haha, even the sea slugs think that he's an idiot and don't want to, be in control of him.
But the fact that this was written and nobody went, hey, this doesn't make much sense.
And the
sea
fact
slugs
that,
all dead. Didn't they all fall off everyone and comatose after we killed Malum?
Malum is their originator.
yeah.
There aren't extra slugs lying around.
And
there shouldn't be.
I'm pretty sure it's specifically stated that the slugs are very weak without Malum.
They at least all detach from everyone on their own after we defeated Malum.
And I would go for the joke of, oh, haha, Dave is so weak that he can be controlled by a slug without Malum. I don't believe that's what they were going for, especially knowing the new dialogue that's coming.
I just think that they weren't aware salt in the wound was the thing.
Which
I can get behind.
No, I think we are all painfully aware that that is a thing.
I know.
But, so the new dialogue that's going to be coming, that's going to be replacing this, is going to be that the slug was a rogue slug that wanted to start a new hive. Which is slightly better. Yeah. Still doesn't make too much sense.
And
it doesn't make sense to me that to become an elite white knight, we go to certification, the leader of the Temple Knights.
Wrong order.
And then do the same things we've already done. Ugh.
This section was not great in any logical sense.
And now unintentionally the sea slugs are set up as a comeback.
Yeah, as 6th age content now.
Yay, sea slugs come back. See, and if I'd said that before Salt in the Wound came out, I would have been like, yay, sea slugs come back.
That said, I did send my document of how to fix that to Dave today, so...
I saw it. It was terrible. No, I'm kidding. No, it was pretty good.
Okay.
The thing is, it has to be made into the 300th quest, so it's a giant milestone.
Yeah, sure, yep. Okay.
So that cutscene ends, and we go to the Falador Castle.
And
this part was pretty fun, actually.
I was okay with this section.
We straight murder a guard who's just standing
we're
there.
Evil Dave. We're evil.
Might I just say, I was very mad that I couldn't use my pocket sand on this guy.
I know, I was expecting it.
I was so wanting that to be what happens.
It was all I needed in life. I walked up to him and used the pocket sand, and then it said nothing interesting happened. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me right now.
Yeah. Because it said we need a way to distract him. I'm like, what's a better way to distracting someone than pocket sand?
And especially because some of the items we get early in the quest do actually get used later.
Yeah, and some are just not.
Yeah. But I didn't really have a problem with this section. It reminded me of an old LucasArts adventure game where the solution's something super off the wall and zany.
Yeah, I mean we make a weird bomb out of a helmet.
Yeah.
A helmet and an oil-soaked note and gunpowder.
Some gunpowder and a torch.
What did we use the boots for, though?
We didn't.
Okay, starting with that. Did you find the loot beam funny? Because I was like, why?
Yes.
You did?
No, because I didn't get it.
I was confused as to why it happened.
That's what I'm getting at, is it funny because, hey, it's a loot beam, I recognize that? There was no joke behind it.
I recognized it was a loot beam and went, oh, okay.
Well, I knew it was a loot beam, obviously, but I didn't get why it was flashing
I feel
for
like
these
that's a lot
white.
There wasn't
humor
a
in this
chuckle or
quest.
anything. I was just confused as to what the animation was for a second, and I went, "Oh, that's a loot beam," and then moved on.
Yeah, I feel like
And then we get the charred boots, but it doesn't
they
have
don't. I
any
don't know why.
use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What were those for?
nothing. They just exist.
it was just
A
another
model
just
was
another
dedicated to them.
random item that we get in this quest that is never used. But okay.
Yeah.
And then the stealth was okay, but I had some issues with. They clearly couldn't see me, but because I was too close to them, the patrolling ones, I got caught.
You can get caught?
Yes.
If I did not stand at the exact opposite corner of the square patrol as the guard, I was caught.
Yeah, okay, so
I honestly did.
these guards had weird hitboxes.
I thought it was just a joke, like they were incompetent and they
No.
couldn't see me. Because the first time I walked through, I started strolling through, accidentally walked right in front of one of them, and then the screen started fading to black. I'm like, oh, I got caught. And then I find myself on the roof with ceramic bars, and I'm like, oh, they
What?
just can't see me.
You
the
didn't
one
go
you
all the
walked
way
past?
through up the
No,
stairs?
no, I was on the
The last one.
last. You know
Okay, I
the
think-
part where you click on the door? I was running over there, but I walked in front of one of the guards. The screen started fading out. And I'm like, oh, I got caught. But then when
I
the
think-
screen faded back in, I was just up top.
Oh,
playing.
you may have
Everyone had that thing with that one night.
crossed the area where it put you to the top. Because I don't think you actually go
Yeah.
through the doors and get up.
No, you don't. You don't at all.
Yeah. But I
But,
did get caught in that first patrolling night.
Yeah, the first one, I think they all had like weird boxes, but the first one got me. Like he was looking at the wall, and I ran past
Yes,
him, and I think I was just
same.
like a square close to him,
Too-
and he turned
close.
around.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not how guard systems work, but okay.
Do you hear something?
Hmm.
Do you hear something? I don't know. It was stupid. Like, I didn't realize you could get caught there. Okay, that at least makes some sense then.
And
I was taking it as the White Knights are completely incompetent joke.
I feel like that section should have been expanded on more because it was actually unique to a lot of the other gameplay in the quest.
Yeah, I mean, and we've had this exact kind of stealth gameplay before, but
We have.
at least it was something more than use this
something
thing
new
on
in
the
this
other
quest.
thing.
Yeah,
Hey, you got these 6 items, find 3 of them that work together.
right. Because that's the
And
game.
the other 3 are going to sit in your inventory for the rest of your quest and do
That's
nothing.
the chores. That's the GE. That's the bomb. That's the Shanty Pass stuff. It's this
Yeah.
bunch of the same.
It's classic adventure game stuff, and I had no problems with that.
So I
mean, it
also
wasn't-
appreciate up
I
at the
did the
top
fourth time. With the fifth
that it's
time.
serving that's on the grill.
That was a good fun name.
Yeah, that was funny.
Solid. The beer thing was okay.
I didn't like the beer thing because it just it moved really fast, but
It did move faster than you could go through the menus, but I mean,
but
I
the
didn't
the
think
other the other thing was since when is Amek such an alcoholic?
It's
That was
also
good,
funny that we
really.
get him so drunk that he can't comprehensively recognize us,
Wait,
and yet 5
was
minutes
he a
later,
drunken recipe for disaster? I forget.
Oh,
maybe.
I don't remember.
I
but
don't know.
Just started.
But we
that
get him
one.
so drunk
Yeah.
that he's completely incomprehensible, and yet yet he's straight sober 5 minutes later when he's with Sarah
Yeah,
Doman.
with Saradomin.
good point.
It's Saradomin's aura. He sobers people up.
No.
Over
no, we're not
aura
getting
of
this.
sobriety.
Yeah.
Yeah, we make Vars the evil creme brulee or whatever it is. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
but in the
really
initial
should-
cutscene where the Colonimancer comes in, what's he doing?
Probably drinking, isn't he?
I think that was a reference to that because I think he was
Okay.
drinking a lot for that.
I can get behind that then. I wasn't mad at him being so drunk. I was just kind of
Also,
is that
we
a thing
completely
he
missed
does?
this, but the reason Dave can't go to Falador is because he was holding a Hugs for Zamorak event.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
I
that.
thought
Was funny.
That was funny.
That was really funny.
Where was that said?
That was when it was initially said he couldn't go into Falador.
Oh.
Yeah, he mentioned he was banned from Falador because of his hugs for Samurai. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that was funny.
That was great. I did like
And
that.
that's the kind of humor that I wanted from this quest, where it's something that's funny because it's actually just funny.
It's its own joke.
Yeah,
it's
because
ridiculous in a way that works.
Yeah, it's not just someone being stupid because ha, funny.
Look, how
You know.
dumb he is. Let's all laugh at the idiot.
Oh, it's a loop beam. That's funny. Uh, and then what happened? Oh, then we go back home, and this is the third chore thing where we're making things worse. Still not a fan of redoing chores.
This one was at least funny though. I liked the dialogue on this one.
Yeah, this one had funny dialogue just because it actually made you realize this time that you're just making shit worse.
Like your character
cleaning
is
these,
like, what is the point of this? Everything is sparkling clean.
like cleaning the dishes has made them like actually dirtier somehow. And the vegetables are now just like mush.
You mush them into paste.
I
I liked the
so
Brassica
fun
Prime
now.
thing where it was like you imagine Brassica Prime screaming out in pain or something.
What was the cutscene for this one?
Did we have one?
There was one. I remember getting fumigated a third time.
Wasn't this the thing where we
Wasn't
go down
Stereo
there, we go to
entering
lay down,
I think this
Evil
was-
Dave talks to Shantae,
Yes.
and that was it?
Yeah, our player. That was okay. That was whatever.
And then we wake up and the rats are
Yeah.
talking to us, and I was pretty sure we were
Right.
hallucinating.
Yeah.
This is where summoning requirement, but apparently not.
Wait, is this a summoning oh, no, because
No,
there
it
is
should be.
because there
No, it
is
should've
none.
been.
Yeah, I
It
don't
should
get why
be.
Dave can suddenly talk to rats, but okay. I guess he's just been
It's
around
because
them
he's
so much.
evil.
And then you pick 3 rats to pick their names, which are used in interchangeable dialogue, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, there's no real point in like tactically choosing who you're picking. They just are all the same.
I tried to be really enthusiastic about this in the video, but it wasn't.
I can't wait to see that.
And then we get to Shanty Pass.
I chose Ryan, Darren, and Pamela. I get to Darren, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm choosing Darren because Darren's a badass. I'm like, yeah, and I mean, all right, gender equality, you can come along too, Pamela.
I don't remember who I picked.
I remember I had Terry in there, that's all I remember.
I only remember those 3 because I tried to make a thing out of them.
Then we get to Shanty.
Yeah,
And Shanty is the
ridiculous
first
reasons.
person in this quest to realize that we used the makeover mage. This is probably the worst joke in here because it is so creepy. He says,
For sure, senpai.
That would have been worse.
He says, I too have made use of the makeover mage. Let Shanty take your day. So we're making sex jokes about him going and turning into a girl to touch himself. Okay, moving on.
Oh baby.
Let's
Or perhaps more accurately,
Yeah.
oh my.
Okay, George Decay.
You're welcome.
Oh,
This was a blessing upon this podcast.
past that though, this section was alright. This had the least interesting dialogue ever in the jailed guy and the guards, I think.
Yeah.
Like
The
for
guards
what?
were fine.
Yeah, I
But
liked
I
the guard
didn't-
conversation.
I didn't really think it was all too relevant, but I mean, it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but it's like it didn't even try to be funny, and it's in the way it has been trying to be funny.
Yeah.
The only funny part of this section was the barrel. The barrel jokes.
That was hilarious.
Those were amazing.
Yeah.
That's how you reference things. You just go reference old.
Yeah, I
quests,
did
and it
I
was
did like that
perfect.
they referenced the girl in the barrel. Like, thank
Like
you.
once somebody points out how ridiculous some of the shit we've done in the past is, it's amazing.
Also, didn't we smuggle something in a coconut before? Because that seemed really familiar.
No, we haven't. Coconut delivery is new.
I felt like we did that before because I recognized that as a reference to something, but I wasn't sure what.
Also, I find it hilarious. The method of transportation is just chucking it over the border.
Yeah.
Could have just put in like a sack or something, and chucked it over the border.
Yeah. See, when I first noticed the rope to climb up onto the thing, I honestly thought I was just gonna like walk around the pass or something.
That would have been funny too.
I also tried to go through the gate so I could walk around to the Ripper Demon area and just walk down there.
At
Since,
first,
you
I'm
know-
looking at that rope, was like, has this always been there since like the outside?
I had the exact same reaction. I'm pretty sure I actually said on there, oh, I guess this isn't used for anything. It must just be there normally.
That's what I was thinking. Was, oh, this must just be a piece of the environment that's just there, and they didn't get rid of it.
Yeah. Can we
The
talk about how
instance.
funny it was too that like the whole thing, like you can see the options to climb up while you're up there as well. Like they
Yeah.
didn't even put it on a separate level.
Oh, I didn't notice.
No, because I was clicking the rope and it was
Kept
like
clicking it.
like
Yeah.
it wasn't doing anything. I'm like, what the fuck?
It was a confusing time in my life.
Although I'm not sure why they made Shanty like a complete idiot for this section.
Because he's been a real character before.
That's why.
It was just funny, like, oh no, you're not allowed to roll this barrel through because no barrels. Okay, I'll just wrap this rug around it. Oh well, I'm sure my good friend Dave wouldn't ever try to trick me.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Not. For
'Cause-
sure.
And then we get through that and end up at this new
End up just straight south. Also,
resource dungeon location.
so in the dialogue with Ceramic, he says that it's at the mouth of the Elid. We are nowhere near the mouth of the Elid.
We're like near like the nipples or something.
We are at
The
Shanty
belly
Pass
button?
still. You can still see it.
Yeah, the mouth should be like in Menethos.
Yeah. I was actually expecting us to go to Menethos. Like, oh
They
good,
go to
they're
Menethos.
finally using Menethos.
Oh my god, that would have been
But that would have
Wow.
required another quest requirement. Jeez.
I know,
That stopped them before.
a quest requirement that has nothing to it.
I don't get the stinginess and quest requirements. They could have put like dishonor among thieves and shit in here. Like,
Fuck it, Slisky's endgame. Let's go.
but we get to the random resource dungeon new thing that has probably the worst mechanic in the game. Sit around and wait for something to sparkle.
So I apparently somehow missed the dialogue that said, look for the thing that sparkles. So I was like, oh my god, there's so many. There's no way this is going to be trial and error. And I just happened to notice that one of them was sparkling.
There was one hole in every room that when you mouse over it, instead of saying hole, it says hole with a red hell rat next to it.
See, I didn't
That's
know
the correct
this,
one.
so that would have been much better to figure out.
But that's completely whatever this mechanic is, mechanic breaking. I feel like this could have been something so much more or taken out. I wouldn't have minded if this was taken out. Because it was just walk across the room and look for a sparkle.
This was also
Yep.
the only time we used the rats. Like, we used
Yeah.
one of the 3 that we take with us.
Again, more summoning requirement, but yeah. I don't know, you put in something in Metapost, like you said, just like make some jokes about how that release went and stuff.
And then we get down to the bottom, and we get probably the worst god confrontation
Of all time.
ever. And World Event 2
Alright,
exists.
let's send our armies 2x2.
And then cut to black and then cut back with a bunch of dead.
Yeah, and then everyone's dead.
And for some, okay, can you explain to me why we had to be tied up? Like, mechanically why? Because we get untied so quickly that there has to be, like, some other reason to it?
Oh, daddy?
What makes less sense is, why was Dave hiding from Saradomin? He was there with him.
He was hiding from the people
He
fighting.
went to... No, he went to...
No, before that.
he
He was
went-
hiding behind the
He was hiding
Oh,
behind
no.
the entrance.
crates.
I don't know.
But he went to Falador to be invited by Saradomin to go to this Kill Zamorak event. Why was he hiding from them?
Here's a point that's been brought up by another player, Hellring, is that the moment where Dave runs away because he doesn't like violence or death or something, this was the inkling of something that could have been a character arc.
Well, this was a mere 10 minutes after he blew up a White Knight mercilessly and stole his charred boots.
That was us.
It's also a mere 20 minutes after he told Zamorak, I'm a big fan of you blowing up the wilderness.
Yes,
No. So Lime, when I say he, I mean in the past during the quest, some of Dave's personality comes through. Why didn't anything happen when we blow up a fucking white knight?
That was us. That wasn't him.
Well, yes, but like I said,
that
yeah,
bit.
his
That could've been
personality
interesting,
coming
too.
through.
But like, I think the character arc could have been like he's imagining the evil as this grand thing, but he's not thinking of the consequences. When he's thinking the wilderness is awesome, he's not thinking about everyone died. So
Yeah,
that could have been like a character arc throughout where he realizes, oh shit, I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should be good Dave. And then he's accidentally more evil than he was when he was evil Dave.
I would have loved that.
But instead, he says he hides for a bit, and then he's still like all pro Zamrak afterwards anyway. So I don't know. I feel like there was an opportunity there to put some
Yeah, this was a good chance for actual story and charactering.
which would have complemented the comedy as well, because you need
some deeper emotion with the comedy always helps. I agree.
Things should be made for like to like demonstrate like what's the saying, that fantasy is like made to play out like inner thoughts and feelings and stuff, where like realistic stories are made to like say something about the world or something like that. So like this is like an opportunity to like say something worth saying and make it actually interesting. I'm going off.
I did appreciate the one Zamrak line that said, "If you track ants into my house, is it my fault if I accidentally step on them?"
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, but that's probably the only bit of this interaction that I actually found humorous.
Right. That's actually serious, I think, and funny.
Yeah, but the rest of it is just like, oh, this is not good.
Not interesting. No, it wasn't.
Also, Walter pointed out to me that the Black Knight that unties you and then literally despawns. He's not there. Yeah, he's not there anymore.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Oh no. And this is the dungeon that the stalkers should be put in. Call back to way back when that was a thing that we talked about. This could totally be a reward space to give the quest a reward.
I think that we should be able to put the pocket sand in our pocket slot.
That sounds like a good idea too.
And when pickpocketing, if we get caught, occasionally pull it out and scream "shasha" and then keep pickpocketing.
When did you become a comic designer?
A couple of years ago, when I used Rune Labs like a fiend.
That might be the most brilliant thing I've ever heard. That would have actually broken your losing streak.
Like seriously, we need to do that though. They really need to add that in, like as a cheeky monkey, that same kind of thing.
Yes, as like a Dracula's or something.
Yeah, because like the pocket slot isn't used for anything for thieving, right?
No, not yet.
No scrimshaws.
I think it
not thieving then.
It will have a use when we get the skilling item things.
That's offhands.
Oh, is it offhand?
That's gonna be offhand.
Oh.
Yeah. So no, I think you're safe in thieving.
Yeah.
Although we should be able to put like the potion of stench or something.
Oh yeah, that would be cool too.
But anyways, great idea. But then the quest sort of wraps up at Dave's house with the twist ending.
Twist ending. Okay.
That everyone twists around a room.
So we have our player redoing the doomy whatever fucking thing with the rats. Why do we not get our bodies swapped with the rats?
Thank you.
I was thinking that time, like, were the rats here the first time? Because he uses hell rat blood or something, but they weren't.
Yeah.
So that would have been funny if like all their personalities. So
like
if they all had personalities as their names were a different personality.
Like I could have even understood if we got switched with Doris. I would have been pissed, but at least she walked in the way. Dave wasn't even near the circle.
He just came running up.
Yeah. This was weird. We also did everything right, and it's still... This is what makes me think that the ritual was to actually switch bodies. So...
Yeah, and then we end with a broken court case, because now you can't ask Doris to testify against Dave, and I guess it's getting hotfix, but I thought that was a little humorous that all the dialogue wasn't That feels like the number one thing to QA with this quest is we're leaving these characters as different people. We should test everything. But I guess that's the lasting impact of this quest. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
Evil doors.
So I will say, back when Dishonor Among Thieves was in its polling stages,
Yes, Evil Dave.
I really wanted Evil Dave to win, not so that Evil Dave could be in the quest, but to have Doris ground him and go instead.
Oh, I remember you saying that. That would be great.
I really wanted that to happen, so when they announced the Evil Dave quest, I definitely wasn't, like, upset. I wanted them to fuck around with this concept that, like, the reason Dave is evil is maybe because his mother had a history or something.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
So ending with Dave being body swapped into Doris and being evil Doris, I can't complain about that. It's all I've ever wanted. But I feel like a lot of opportunities have been missed with Dave and his mother. And like some silly storytelling with Doris's past.
Now, after the quest, Doris is hitting on the shop assistant girl?
Yeah, because that shop assistant girl is into Dave, and I guess she's just
a little long.
Cool with it.
I guess.
She has a penis now, okay?
Is Doris... is or is not Doris the ugliest human NPC in the
She
game?
is the worst.
Oh, I hate it. And her outfits.
Wait, what about the face?
The face?
The Rat Pits person.
Oh.
Do they have the same face?
I think the only thing worse is like the horrible child faces. Like those are actually nightmare. Those are nightmare inducing.
And all of the elves post rework.
The girl from Carnelian Rising. Dear God.
Oh.
Sarsaparilla.
No, yeah. Doris's face is actually a pretty common female NPC
I don't like
face.
It. It's like the old hag face. I do not like it.
I just linked you guys the Faces face. Like, tell me that isn't the worst face in the game.
I hate Doris's more.
Look at those bags under her eyes.
I'll hate Doris's more.
Oh,
rewards. 110,000
experience. Wait, hang on. Before we get there, I have a couple things of Walter's to bring up.
Okay, that's fair.
For one, and this was something I was going to bring up anyway, Doris still has the old Evil Dave dialogue, and it isn't moved at all. It's like you can talk to Dave about Davey things, and then the moment you mention Evil Dave's Big Day Out, something, it's like, oh yeah, and by the way, I'm Doris. What's up?
You know what's funny about that? Is that if we're going to go off the assumption that this is a non-canon quest, that actually makes some semblance of sense.
Yes, I agree there.
Mm.
But it is odd. Then the next one is neither Zamorak nor Saradomin have post-quest dialogues, so you can't explain yourself to them. Again, but the general store people have post-quest dialogue.
That's true. But again, if we're going non-canon, I'm fine with it. I don't care.
Yep. Most importantly, if this quest is canon, what happens to Slisky?
Is he in...
Whose body is he in?
Is he in Doris's body?
Was the whole point of this quest to move Slisky out of our body into Dave's, into Doris's, so that Slisky can come back as Doris?
As Doris.
Because if so, I'd support this move wholeheartedly.
That would be the worst. I hate her now. I would hate her even worse.
I would actually cry laughing if they actually did that. Please don't do that. But oh my god.
Save that for Gower Quest 2.
Please no more quests like this for another 6 years.
Yeah, I need a break, especially since 2 of our quests this year have been like this.
Yeah.
And you know what? I would also argue that this is kind of the reason that we're being a little more harsh on this than usual, is because our quests this year have been very low quality.
That's something we were telling Dave on Twitter, is that if we had had a year of very solid quests, I think we would have been much less harsh on this.
I just wouldn't have felt like, and I didn't hate this quest. I really didn't. I thought there were some really funny moments. But, as a podcast and channel for lore lovers, it kind of hurts when we've only gotten a couple quests this year, one of the best ones we got this year wasn't even allowed to be stayed permanent because of a stupid vote. And we've just kind of been followed up by disappointment after disappointment. And then dev priority goes to another joke quest.
Yeah.
It leaves me feeling a little high and dry. And like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I can't be mad. You know, people enjoy funny quests, and that's fine. If it gets players playing quests, great.
Mm.
But for somebody that plays almost quest to quest at this point, it hurts. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, that's all I can say. But
So the rewards.
Yeah.
Yes,
rewards.
110,000 experience.
Yeah, they
35 levels worth.
they kind of forgot that the new standard for rewards was books and lamps. So
That's one thing.
Books
So
and
it's
lamps
just-
and books and
books
lamps.
and lamps. So it's just straight XP. So I hope you're not a pure and really mad about this.
Luckily,
you
pures
very
generally
magic
don't
anyway.
get mad about magic XP, but
That's
It
true.
just requires magic, so.
if you're a skill pure, then yeah. But what skill pure would be doing this quest? There's no rewards.
That's true. I guess maybe they just
There
wanted to
are
do a
no-
quest.
Experience does not count as a reward.
I also consider that true.
So,
It's slightly why I think Armin in the North was really bad, because it gives actually no reward. Not
there's
even
no experience
XP.
in that one either. Yeah.
I was gonna say, doesn't that turn off Desert Heat? But no, that's Crocodile Tears.
Yep.
For some reason.
No, Crocodile Tears gives that, and XP as well, and I think something else.
No, I think it's just those two.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's it. It also gives
Well,
those
it
tokens.
It gives
so-
access to the mask and the hidden room, but then
That doesn't count.
our man in the North has the same thing too.
Post quest. So yeah, this quest has no rewards. So insert the stalker argument again here. Also the sand, pocket sand.
I think we need a pocket sand equipable at level 30 thieving, and when you get caught, like once every 5 minutes, your character instead pulls it out, throws it out, says shasha above their head, and you don't get stunned. That's all I need in life.
5%.
Ramen, I know you're
Please,
listening. Do it.
And if you're not listening, I will tweet it to you after this video goes up. Because I feel very passionate about this.
You should make a design document for Reddit tomorrow.
It'll be like 10 words long, but
It would get
we're totally
support.
doing it.
It would get
I'm going to do it. Screw it, I'm doing it. I'm going to do it the moment we finish this cast.
But so yeah, and back to the experiences and reward. Also, it's excessive. Beyond excessive.
Yeah, it's a lot of XP for a low level quest.
60 or like 10k experience. This quest required 30s.
It gives you 35 levels if you do it at the bare minimum.
Modern quests with the modern quest standard require 10k experience for level 60.
But guys, Slisky's endgame rewards, well, I can't speak, like 1,000,000 XP. What's wrong with this?
Requires like 25 level 80s.
Shh.
It's
No
also
logic
like the quest wreck monster in the game right now.
Shh.
I think the mistake here was they accidentally added a 0 at the end of each value. Because 11k would have been the right number. Like
They
that's
were
around,
just
like,
trying really hard to bribe people to play this quest.
Land of the Goblins requires level 36s across like 4 skills, and that rewards 11k experience.
But you know what? I can't be mad about this quest. It leveled me up to 102 cooking.
Oh, wow.
Not even joking. I comment on it at the end of the video and everything.
Beyond a stupid amount, I don't know how this got past balancing, especially when the guy that does balancing made the quest.
Good point.
I don't know.
I'm
And
going to
like,
go
I-
on the assumption
like I
that
said-
Timbo did not make the...
There was
The
just
rewards.
a rework to
Like I
get-
said, I can't even be mad about it, but it is pretty funny. And since they didn't make it lamps, they couldn't even put like a reasonable level requirement on it, like Stu just did to a bunch of things.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was just saying
exactly.
they just changed a bunch of quests to prevent this issue where you jump a bunch of levels early because of quest experience. The standard is you don't jump more than like 1, 2, or 3. And this quest jumps 35 over across 4 skills. So that's something that's an issue and needs to be brought back down and say, oops, early root bonus. Or something.
I'd be fine with an early one
That's
per
been done
bonus if
before.
you wanted
We
to do
haven't
that.
had one in a while.
I miss those. So,
unintentional. But yeah, that's my last issue. I think I got through all the things that I was trying to get through.
Yeah, I think we went pretty thoroughly through here. So
Tiffy, disjointed, makeover mage, be reward. Yes, those are my big things. And the overusing the use this and that thing in too many areas.
Yeah.
So,
Anything else to comment on?
any
No.
Walter points that you found particularly funny?
No, I went through and was reading as we went, so I read out all the
Yeah.
ones I thought were especially funny.
I think I covered everything that I was especially happy with. Like quest-wise, it's fairly short, so like there's only so much I can comment on. Most of the funnier gags are the ones that felt like they weren't trying too hard.
Actually, speaking to length, I feel like, thinking back, it felt longer because you run through so many areas so quickly, but you're
Yeah.
actually just churning them throughout like every 5 minutes.
Wait,
Yeah.
hang on. Did we talk about Surf's Up?
No, we didn't. It's a bad
Okay.
name. It
Well, we're not
sucks.
going to, so move on.
Yeah. Moving on.
It's a name that we considered for something else earlier on and dismissed it as a joke, but then ended up actually getting used in some quests.
And the best part is we didn't share this with JMods.
Yes, that was coincidental.
I mean, to be fair, we went through probably every remaining instance of Sir jokes.
This is true. I think I ended up on like Surrender or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Something like that. I don't know.
Not as good as mine, but all right.
Still waiting for a one Mr. Circumcision.
Don't want it.
That will happen, and I'm surprised it didn't happen in this quest.
I would have
Are
appreciated it better than Surf's Up.
the names of Invention of Disaster recorded anywhere? I forget what those are.
Probably.
They ran through a bunch of them without.
Yeah, there were like at least 10.
Oh, yeah, they're on the 2016 Halloween page.
Yay.
We got, which ones are new here? Oh, they use Surrender in here.
Yeah, I mean, and as I mentioned, they did a Sir Tinley, but with a different spelling in this quest.
They got Sirloin Steak. They got,
Oh, that's a good one. Sirloin steak, yeah.
they got Sir Ken Schism. Sir Ken Schism. His last name is Schism.
Wow. Yeah, so they have used that already.
Damn
There
it.
you go. They got Sir Rupp.
Oh, that's, yeah. Yep.
They used Servile with, Memories of Nomad or something.
Servile, yeah.
They got Serpent. They got a couple good ones in here. Damn, they either use Surrender. I'm keeping it anyway.
Screw it. If it's an alternate world, it means he's still alive.
Oh, this is the guy that was fourth age, so he's definitely dead. But anyway,
It was alive.
was alive. They found his body and reburied it on the ice mountain.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, I think we covered
Yeah,
everything.
I think that's everything.
Yep, we're coming up on an hour and a half, so.
Oh, Jesus.
Perfect.
We're going to run out of footage.
No, we're not. Well,
Yeah, I have 57 minutes of footage, so we're going to run out of footage.
start replaying it right where it ends. Just cut right to the beginning.
Sure, yeah, we can do that.
Like the chores, you do them over again.
Yeah, just loop the chores at the end.
Oh, great.
But yeah, so that's our thoughts on Evil Dave's Big Day Out. It was a pretty small day out, and it's an alright quest that would have been better received, I think, in a year with stronger questing.
Now let's just hope that the Christmas event gets made permanent.
Yeah, let's not pull this shit. Just do it.
Stick it in the Whitelands after Mists of the Whitelands, and
No, they literally said that if it stays, they're going to be adding a whole new section to the Realm of Seth. So, yes.
Yeah, just do it.
Don't
Please
put
just
much
don't
effort
pull
into
it.
Village, just copy and paste some buildings. Put the
And it's-
NPCs in there.
See, and it's clear that polling doesn't work for content like this because there were so many people complaining about things that were answered on the forum thread. But we're
Yeah.
not going to get into that because we've gotten into that.
We did.
So, yeah, that's our thoughts on our really long form review that's longer than my playthrough of the quests, or the quest. Keep an eye on the channel for said playthrough of the quest. Additionally, we still need to do the interviews with the Ghost Stories writers, so keep an eye out for those if we can get that together. I know the writers behind them, at least a couple of them, are definitely still interested, so we'll try and get that to you as well. I have some other things scripted that maybe will come out if I'm not busy, but I'm very busy
All the time. This
all
was
the
a
time.
stretch to get to this time slot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I work a lot and I have real life commitments like a girl, and yeah,
Grill?
yeah, I has girl.
Just like
Crondis has
serving.
grill. Yeah, exactly.
You're just bad at
Crondis
managing
also
your
has
grill.
grill. Vernie, does you have grill?
Yes, but you're just bad at managing yours. You gotta wash it and then store it away for the winter and stuff.
Yeah, you really got to just keep it going clean.
Okay. Anyway,
But yeah, so life has been kicking us in the balls, is what we're saying.
Yep.
So yeah, hopefully we can get some more content to you as soon as possible. But as we've mentioned before, we kind of feel like we're running a little on empty at the moment, and hopefully some more stuff coming soon.
Pirates comes in February.
Yes, please come sooner. Yeah, I'm looking forward to some new stuff. We'll see what December has lined up for us as well, and yeah.
signing off.
Yep. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.